is the color when I flip it like this.
Okay, so
This is old cow.
and this is not a spring chicken. Today we're going to be talking about emergency preparedness for pets.
Yeah.
And see, part of it is if you're a pet owner, you know just how important that is. But just like yourself, you probably are not quite as prepared as you think you should be or would like to be.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Most people, one thing that average person doesn't do is they never walk their fence.
Mm-hmm.
If they walk their fence, sometimes they'll find out things they don't want to find, which is like there's rotted woods in the fence, and you give any dog an opportunity, a dog can't bolt. It doesn't make any difference how well the dog is trained. If they think they can get out, they're going to get out.
Oh.
I mean, like right now, we've got to, because of a new, they tore the fence down that was behind us, and our fence was built based upon the fact that there was a fence behind us, that our fence doesn't completely connect with the ground in one spot, so it's going to have a new board put in place to fix the problem. Right now there's wire.
Well, you know, and most people don't think about it. I mean, they think, a lot of times they think about kid-proofing their homes, they don't think about animal-proofing it.
You got
Unless I guess maybe you think if you have rabbits that are in the house.
Yeah, but animal proofing starts with the area the dog is going to spend its most time in. You also want to make certain there's no edible plants out there that are poisonous to the dog, because dogs get in a mood where the dogs will chew. They'll chew leaves, they'll chew grass because it cleans their stomach out. And a lot of common plants that people put outside are deadly to dogs.
Ooh, and they don't even think about it.
That's right.
And there are things that are not deadly to humans, but they can be to
I think
animals.
because azalea bulbs are dangerous, and if the bulb, dogs do dig.
Yeah, and they bury their bones.
And if they bury their bone near an azalea bulb, they could likely eat the bulb, because dogs, like I said, they clean their stomach out by eating grass and pine needles, anything you think of. Pine needles not good for dogs either.
Yeah, I don't think they're good for people.
No, but actually people said no on when they're walking around because you didn't clean their teeth. But dogs
Really?
are not really good, and then they're not really, it's not really good to have herbs and spices where the dogs are, because they're very bad for the animal's stomach. So like I said, the first place you go is to simply walk the area where you're going to keep your dog or cat, and make certain that area is dog proof. Inside is a total different thing, which we're going to be talking about in a second. I just talked about the outside because the Montavious, even though she's a show dog, is an outside dog.
Well, one of the things that we're going to have to do is that conditions change. Is we have some new neighbors that moved in, and so the fence that they had back of them, they tore out the fence.
Yeah.
Right.
And our fence was built predicated upon the fact that that fence was there, and it doesn't. And they there's a hole in where the fence should be touching the ground, but it's not.
Right, and so they put in the hole, they put like some chicken wire or something in there, and so even though they have these little yapper dogs, Monty's much bigger than the yapper dogs, and well, let's just say doggies can put noses in there and all sorts of things.
Yeah, Monty, we can't afford to have Monty. Monty can't get scratch cut or anything because she's a show dog. So we have to, like I said, in this case, it's simply a matter of getting a brand new board and putting down at the bottom and connecting it to the ground. Because, I mean, we do have to dig some of it out, because when they did theirs, like I said, the dirt went like that when they took the fence out. So, but that's the first thing. Now we're going to get to the next part, which is,
you know those those stickers, those rescue stickers for your house. Now you can get those, and you go, what is that? Those are those signs that say, in case of an emergency, we have 1 dog, 2 cats, or whatever that live here. You know, you have spaces for dogs, cats. Some of them might have spaces for other animals, which you can put on there. But you put them in your window by your door, or just by your door, so that anybody, if there's something that happens, an emergency, they can go by your door and see that there are things there.
yeah, because some things, because just like, for instance, the weather was bad outside when, when my house burned to the ground. Actually, it burned to the ground. And my youngest brought all the pets inside because it was bad weather outside, and the house was set ablaze. And when firemen came in, the first thing they were doing, they were looking for people and pets. Because it was, but mostly, I lost one room of the house, lost the garage, and another room, but there was smoke throughout the house. All the animals died from the smoke inhalation. And they're walking around seeing this one animal after another. But that's, if you have them on the outside of your house too, because one dog didn't need to stay there. The dog was big enough to left, also had dog doors, which they could go in and out. But the big dog was like 200-pound Newfoundland. He couldn't. He was still alive when they showed up, but dying, and he was doing his job. He was at everybody that came in, and then he finally just, you know, like that. But that's what that emergency sticker is for, to tell you.
Well, and one of the things I didn't realize is, because ASPCA has one, and it has how many pets are there, but also your vet's name and their phone number. I think most of them, which I got mine at the pet store. I didn't get mine from the ASPCA. It's over by the window. The one that I have just has the quantity, and I don't think it has my vet information. So that's actually a new thing that I hadn't even thought about. But you can get them for free from the ASPCA. To give you some idea. One of the things that most people already know about is their dog should have a collar.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking, oh, and your cat too.
Yeah, cats should have. Cats will take them off, but you can get ones that will stay on the cat, because if the cat likes it, the cat will leave it on.
Well, and I've seen people, they say, well, our animals are inside the house, so we don't need a collar.
No, because the cat, okay, Monty knows better than to go out a door. Yesterday she got in trouble because she was going out a door. That doesn't make any difference. The pet is trained not to do it. A pet, when it gets excited, will do almost anything.
And it could be you coming home, or their dog friend walks by at the same time.
Yeah, the same.
Like that.
They see the little kids, that they see part of her fan club. She knows they're coming, and she knows better. But it doesn't make any difference. Like, for instance, the smartest an animal can get is about as smart as a 6 or 7-year-old child, which are very smart. But they still will act like a 6 or 7-year-old child.
Yeah.
And Monty basically, she knows better, and you know, she did get just a lecture about that last night.
Some people will tell you not to put your dog's name on the collar or on the tag. You know, it's like, I have mixed feelings about that.
Well, because Monty has more than one name. That's the whole trick.
And they're also saying put more than one phone number there, because, and also check your tags, because sometimes your phone number may change.
Yeah.
You may not have the current phone number.
Well, out here they're continually changing the area codes and the first sets of numbers. So I mean, what was there 2 years ago, totally different now.
And also we have another collar, although I just checked your collar and I didn't see it on there, and I got it from the vet, where you subscribe to, and it's an annual lifetime membership, and you put their information on file, so if anything happens to your pet, there's a number, and there's actually a reward that goes out for your animal or pet, and you notify them.
Monty doesn't seem to have that one on her collar. But she has multiple collars though, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then the other one is one that also just came out, is a company called Barcode, which had something that was rather unique.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, because it has on the tag. Actually, I'll show a big one. I'll show a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, they can't really see from there.
No, we can see that. They can see this.
And one of the things that's unique about this is they have small versions, right?
Yeah.
That go on your dog's collar. But on here they have their information, but there's a barcode here on this scanner, so somebody with a phone app can scan it in there, and it has your pet's name, emergency information, multiple contacts information, and about anything else you want to include on there. And if you don't have a smartphone, there's also a website where you can go, where you can download a free reader.
Yeah, you can sit there and do it.
And actually, that's actually very, very smart, because here's one of the things that I had thought about, because part of it is Monty has her name tag. She has a regular collar. She has the one that if something happens, right, there's a reward for her. And then I thought, well, she's already microchipped, right? Well, then I discovered with this, the nice part is that you can put multiple phone numbers, multiple contact information. But also, I discovered that not all microchip.
They're not all. They can't read all of them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
There's a difference in readers.
And there's. Yeah, and so part of it is you think, oh, I'm safe. Well, maybe the microchip moved and they can't read it there, or maybe their equipment's broken, or they don't have the right equipment. You know, a multitude of reasons.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something funny. Is that I actually, for my youngest, I went to Walmart one day when they were having they were doing the thing from the police department. We filled out the stuff, did the handprint, the footprint, got one of these things with a little with a social security number thing on it, and so that we could have it. If she had a smaller version, they carry on, you know, like this, a smaller version, you know, they carry on a key chain. It's all barcode, so you can't read it. But so if she got lost, you know, then people see that. Oh, okay, that's who you are. And so it's sort of a, you know, dogs got it first. We went to people.
Well, you know, part of it is, you know, this is the one with the little dog collar, and I asked, well, these you have more, because just like a luggage tag,
Yeah.
here's, you know, my idea is like take this and add it to her emergency preparedness kit,
Yeah.
add it to her kennel,
Yeah.
right? And you just get multiples of them.
That's right. It should be done that way. Like I said, I had for her, I had a big one like this to carry in her little pocketbook, and one like this for a little keychain. And believe me, just because they're 6 or 7 years old does not mean they don't have little pocketbooks and keychains.
Yeah, they do. So, you know, those, actually, that's part of the preliminary stuff. And then also, is if something should happen, they always tell you plan a pet-friendly place to stay if there's an emergency and you have to leave with your pet.
That's the big problem, that I think like 40, this is how we got started, was with a pet blog during Hurricane Katrina. Because we were a pet blog, and then we started all the animals that basically were left behind. People, they couldn't take the children and the things the children needed with them and take the pets, so they left the pets. I mean, hundreds of thousands of pets were left behind.
I know, and a lot of times they'll tell you, arrange a safe place for the pet to be. Well, sometimes Red Cross they have disaster shelters. In some of those areas, like even the pound had people bringing their pets in because they couldn't take them with them.
That's right.
Which actually brings me to another thing is, and everybody may not be so fortunate, is I think that you should have at least one vehicle in your house that can hold everybody within your household,
Yeah.
plus your pets.
But that's the unfortunate thing about our government, is they think you should only have a car. We actually, the plans were to build the O and the Super O. The O basically had one seat and held 2 people and some stuff behind the back seat.
Yeah.
The Super O is designed to take the stuff you can take from the back seat and put a child behind.
Yeah.
That basically means you have to leave your pets behind. So,
And sometimes you may have more than one pet, or maybe you have a horse.
yeah.
And they're not obviously going to fit in your car, but maybe you have a horse trailer.
No, we did that. I mean, years ago we had a massive fire. Because what happened was we lived in Culver and Englewood stuff back in the days when they had farms in this area. But when they when they back zone things and back zone the farm animals out, we moved further out into the country, like up towards Antelope Valley, and it caught fire.
Well, and you know, part of it is there's different types of emergency, because sometimes if you just have a local fire, right, you want to just stay locally, a hotel that will take pets, or you could go to stay with relatives. But if you're like in a hurricane area,
Which are floods.
or floods, you want to be out of that entire area.
Yeah. The problem comes was, like in our case, that the fire came sweeping down. My father, my brother and I, we went up there and we basically lassoed everything we could find. We didn't have time to get saddles on the horses. We just hopped on the horses with the bridles, and we're herding the cattle with the other horses to get out of there. The problem was, you know, like my mother said, okay, now that you're moving them, where are you going to put them? There was no place to put them. We're sitting there with the fires coming down the hillsides, and the other people in the same area, because the other people lived in the city, took their horses and stuff out there. And everybody's like a massive, massive like Western movie with the, all the livestock and the horses being driven to where? There was no place. And we're down there, and then, what happened was finally people got this idea. I know what we'll do. Just line all the cars up and put them in the center of the cars. That's how we kept all of our horses, our cattle, our pigs, and then, and the other people all did the same thing. And we could have used some things back then because the cattle didn't have more. Because they're domesticated cattle. They don't have brands on them. And the horses basically didn't have, they had ear tags, but separating them was an ungodly big mess. So that's why this is smart compared to the way it used to be.
It is. It's very, very smart. So.